There we go, the 8 competitors.
Representing New Zealand, WIGG.
Hollywig, number 60 in the world, one of the outsiders.
Representing Czech Republic, Miskova.
Veronika Miskova, number 21 in the world. We have number 21, 22, 23 in the world, so it's going to be a tight one.
United States of America.
One of the favourites.
KOKUMAI.
Sakura KOKUMAI, number 6 in the world.
Representing France, Ferracci.
Alexandra FERACCI, number 10 in the world. So we have number 6, number 10, and then we have two very tightly ranked ones.
Jasmin JUETTNER.
Yazmin Yudna, number 22, followed by Pong Nguyen, number 23.
Vietnam, Nguyen.
So 21, 22, 23 in this group.
Miskova, representing Venezuela, Armada.
Andrea ARMADA, number 36 in the world, so an outsider in this group. We'll see what the outsiders can do.
Hong Kong, China, Lao.
Mo Lao, number 4 in the world, one of the favourites. So we have number 4, number 6, number 10, Mo Lao, Sakura KOKUMAI, and Alexandra FERACCI. And then after that, 3 in the 20s, 1 ranked number 36, and then the outsider, Hollywig from New Zealand, and it'll be Hollywig who gets us underway. Performing the Chatanyara Kuzanku. So she's going to be hoping to pull off the kind of thing that Teriana Donofrio did. An unusual kata to begin with. Let's see if that is enough to surprise the judges. You have to perform it well, obviously. It's not purely about choosing an unusual kata. It's about performing it artistically and technically. It's the third group of the women's. Third out of 4 groups. 4 groups of men's to follow. Hollywig of New Zealand, number 60 in the world, performing the Chatanyara Kuzanku.
Chatanyara Kuzanku!
Chatanyara comes from the name of the master, Chatan Yara, one of the first to spread martial arts around Okinawa Island. Good 350 years ago as well. That's Chatanyara Kuzanku, who's also a Chinese martial artist of around the same time, late 17th and mid 18th century. Kuzanku learnt his trade from a Shaolin monk. And there we have the Chatanyara Kuzanku from Hollywig, just coming to an end. Just coming to an end. It was a longer performance than I was expecting. On it goes, and now it finishes. Well, she certainly put her heart and soul into that one, and very much worked up a sweat. Tall athlete, you can see she's tiring towards the end. It was a brave performance. I'm sure the judges will reward her a little bit for her bravery, lacking perhaps in technical precision, but a brave performance nevertheless to choose that particular attacking kata. Yes, 21.82 isn't going to get her through to the next round unless there's a real turn up for the books, but a courageous choice.
Total points 21.82.
Interesting performance to watch as well from Hollywig. Next up will be Veronika Miskova of the Czech Republic, number 21 in the world. So one of those very much in the middle ground in the rankings as far as this group is concerned. Any one of them can get through, and she is performing the Papuren. Fifth in the European Continental Championships earlier this year. See how all the performers here are, all the athletes are very much working up a sweat. Karatega sticking to her skin, dripping with sweat. Very hot conditions here, making it all the more difficult for them to perform, particularly on the sand as well. This is a good performance of the Papuren by Miskova. I like that performance from Miskova of the Papuren, the crane-like movements. I thought she showed good intensity throughout. As we say, really working up a sweat. .34. That puts her in the lead.
Total points.
It's a score that's there to be beaten.
23.34.
But it's not the kind of thing that she would have been hoping for. She would have been wanting to be a lot nearer 24, if not over it. She's come off with smiles after the intensity of that performance. Judges marking it down a little bit towards the end as the intensity drops, but that tends to be the case with a lot of people. Be interesting to see whether that one is enough to get her qualification, and I would venture to say that it won't be, based on what we've had in the other groups. You need to be a lot nearer to 24 than that 23.34. So next up, Sakura KOKUMAI of the United States with the kururunfa, holding and striking suddenly. Saw that one before. Performed by Tariana Donofrio in Group B, and it got her 25.26. Let's see whether Sakura KOKUMAI, number 6 in the world, she can perform it as strikingly as Donofrio. Sakura, a Japanese name. It means a flowering cherry tree, one of the beautiful trees that flower in Japan around April. Festivals in its name. She's 27 years old, born in Honolulu. And a world bronze medalist in the past. 6 times Pan Am champion. But not this time around. You've already seen that. That was Dimitrova from the Dominican Republic. A strong performance from world number 6. For my mind, it wasn't quite to the standards of Tariana Donofrio, performing the same kata, the kururunfa, a little earlier. It should be enough to get her into the top 4 of this group, as befits her standing. 24.68, there we go. The first of 3 thus far, and that's a real marker for the rest. 24.68.
24.68.
It's a difficult kata to perform, and she performed it well. Reminder that you can't perform any katas more than once at the same tournament. So that's the kururunfa done for her. volunteers busily rake the, I've got it wrong actually, I thought it was 7 by 7, it's actually 8 by 8 meters, so you've got 64 meters to work with. They're not really working with more than about 3 or 4 square meters right in the middle, and that's getting very much churned up, much like the baseline in tennis. Speaking of playing tennis on sand, that's what you tend to do in France, and here is France's #1 and #10 in the world, Alexandra FERACCI. And she is going to show us the papouren that we've seen quite a few times today. The crane. FERACCI, #10 in the world. Saying that most of the competitors were using just a meter or two right around the center, and then FERACCI proves me wrong. She went right up to look the judges in the eye there. A very good performance from FERACCI. She seemed to be struggling a little bit with her breathing towards the end, which is something that judges will pick up on and note up and down. Windy but incredibly hot conditions here. I do like the papouren. It's very easy to watch, and she's bang on 24. So the 3 judges in the middle, the top 2 and the bottom 2 scores are always taken out. And that leaves you with 3 in the middle, and the 3 in the middle are obviously 8, 8 and 8. And that gives her 24 bang on, puts her in second. And 24 seems to be good enough to get you qualification. We'll have to wait and see on this one. 24 is likely to get her through. Puts her just behind Sakura KOKUMAI on 24.68, but well clear of Miskova and Hollywig. time today. The first one was Hilary Akele in Group A, and it didn't do a very good. She got the lowest score of the day so far, actually, 20.4. She performed the Unsu, and that's what we're going to see from Yazmin Yudna of Germany, ranked number 22 in the world. So we've got 21 Miskova, 22 Yudna, 23 Nguyen. So it's going to be very tight between the three of them. Let's watch the Unsu, the cloud hands.
Unsu!
Cloud hands. A lot of the hands are the ones to watch in this particular kata. A lot of very difficult techniques to perform. There'll also be a spinning double kick to come a little bit later on. 360 degrees, so watch out for that one. Years old. Yasmin Bloyle was her name up until a couple of years ago. She married a fellow karateka, Philip Yudna. The spinning leg towards the end. Good performance from Yudna. It's a gamble going for the Unsu. Will it be enough to get her at least 24? I think 24 is going to be, it's the benchmark at the moment. 24.26, she does indeed just scrape ahead of her European rival, Alexandra FERACCI. So FERACCI is now the one who's a little bit on the cusp. 24.26.
24.26.
Bold performance from Yazmin Yudna. Going for the Unsu. If you perform it well, you'll get extra marks over those going for the Anandai. Perhaps also the Papuren that we've seen a fair bit of. I do like seeing the Papuren. And we're going to see it next up from Phuong Nguyen of Vietnam, ranked 23 in the world, one behind Yazmin Yudna. Very enjoyable performance there to watch from Yudna. Determination etched on her face. Now it's up to Pong Nguyen to overtake her. It's going to be tough. We have Phuong Nguyen, 23 in the world, Andrea ARMADA, 36 in the world coming up, and then Mo Lau, number 4 in the world. So this is going to be a very strong group. We've got 3 on 24 points already. Poor Veronika Miskova on 23.34, unlikely to make it through. Phuong Nguyen with the Papuren. Pong Nguyen took part in the Asian Games last year. So Tararatanaku of Thailand. She was a bronze medalist in the Kata. Was knocked out in the quarterfinals by Grace Lau, who went on to win a bronze medal. A more contained performance of the Papuren that we've just seen from Phuong Nguyen. Seemed to be wobbling a little bit on the legs towards the end. For me, it wasn't a 24-point performance. The judges proved me wrong. It just about is 24.26. I say contained. She did what she had to do and did it very accurately. So, 24.26
Total points.
puts her dead level with Yazmin Yudna.
24.26.
So hopefully both of them will get through. Yudna is marginally ahead based on the other results that she got that were discounted by the judges, but then are counted back in the event of a tie. So at 24.26, Yazmin Yudna, the two top and two bottom scores that were discounted were obviously marginally higher than the ones that Pong Nguyen got. So now means that Alexandra Ferracci is down to fourth, and she's very much on the cusp, particularly with Mo Lau, number 4 in the world, still to come. And, well, if Mo Lau performs well, you'd expect her to come in first or second. That leaves third and fourth, Yudna and Nguyen on 24.26, unless Andrea Armada here can put a cat amongst the pigeons. Goju Shino Sho is what she's performing. Number 36 in the world she is. The first Goju Shino Sho that we've seen today. We've had a Goju Shiho Dai. The Sho is a very attacking routine. A wide variety of advanced techniques, as with we're seeing here from Andrea Armada. An interesting performance from Andrea Armada. Chose a complex kata, performed it well. Whether that will get her in amongst the 24s that we have. We have a 24, 224.26 and a 24.68 at the moment. He's unlikely to get them in there. There we go, 22.74. 6 out of 7 at the moment. But still a good performance from her. Ranked number 36 in the world.
Total points 22.74.
So last but not least, we have the favourite in this group and number 4 in the world. From Hong Kong, Mo Lau. Forming the traditional Anan. Attack and defence. One of the oldest, one of the original kata. Dates back so far that nobody knows who originally created it. But it's part of the Okinawa school. It's going to be interesting because it contains a lot of footwork, and we're here on the beach, so Mo Lau will be churning up that area in the middle, no doubt. Also has open hand and crane fist techniques, very much from the Chinese style. It's used traditionally as a method of evasion. So there'll be a lot of footwork to watch out for. Lau, often known as Grace Lau. She was the one I mentioned earlier who got a bronze medal in Qatar at the Asian Games in Jakarta last year. Not on the beach. This is the first time that karate is being performed on a beach. Or at least the first time in competition. So we see the foot movements that I mentioned that are characteristic of the Anan. Grace Lau was the first person to defeat Kyu Shimizu known as the Empress. She'd been undefeated from her debut, the Japanese fighter. And then she lost to Grace Lau in Salzburg 2 years ago in October 2017. And then 4 months later, she did it again in Dubai. Only the second loss of Shimizu's career. So Grace Lau, certainly a great pedigree. She performed that Anan very well. She needs anything above 24, literally above 24, to see her through. And if she does get anything above 20, there we go, 25.88. How about that? The highest score we've seen so far today, edging out Teriana Donofrio's 25.26. Clear at the top of the group. And that means that, fortunately, both Yazmin Yudna and Phuong Nguyen get through, having been dead level. How about that? Disappointment, though, for Alexandra FERACCI, coming up just short. 24 points, very creditable. That would have got her through the other groups, but not this one. So the 8 competitors from Group C come back out for the official announcement of qualification.
Pass for the next round. Hong Kong, China.
Grace Lau, 25.88 with that beautiful Anan.
United States of America.
That was Sakura KOKUMAI with the Urumfa, 24.68. Yazmin Yudna with the Unsu.
Vietnam.
Phuong Nguyen with the Papuren. Both of those two getting 24.26. Thank goodness they got through. Imagine not getting through purely on account back of scores that had been knocked off. That would have been very tough. 7 judges. The middle 3 count, top 2 and bottom 2 don't count, but they do in a count back, and that would have been tough for Nguyen, but she got through. Bitter goal, though, for Alexandra FERACCI, who walks off with a steely stare. She didn't make it through to the next round. Here at the beautiful Qatar beach in Qatar. So we get a wave from the people out in the bay. The beach has been closed, obviously, because it's a little bit busy at the moment. We have 14 different sports. Beach soccer, beach tennis, beach volleyball, some of the big ones that are being played here and at other beaches. But here we have the beach soccer and the beach tennis. Other sports coming up. We've got 2 days worth of karate. This is the first time, as I said, first time that karate is being performed on a beach.